Afre, welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where we talk everything about movies and shows. And we have a big award show that just finished the other day, the Golden Globes.
At least that is factual. And at least that makes sense. Because there's a lot about the Golden Globes, specifically the nominations and the categories, that to me makes absolutely no logic whatsoever.
And we're gonna cover it all in a little bit, but I just like to shout out our sponsors, Tango Theaters, where you can catch Escape Room, which is I just watched that over the weekend. That was a pretty cool movie.
Escape room.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think I've even seen previews.
So it's there's escape rooms, right? So
I had a
yes.
feeling you were going to have a
You know,
particular proclivity to that.
I have a yes. Thank you, Jason. Just good word there. I really like escape rooms, and Guam just doesn't have a good escape room. It's really missing a good escape room.
They almost did.
They almost did have a great escape room,
Yeah.
but the movie is pretty much it showcased escape room, but it's like kind of escape rooms plus Saw, like the Saw franchise, because it's a horror movie. So six strangers get put into. They think they're going to one of like a traditional escape room, but it's really like
Saw kind of was an escape room anyway.
yeah, when you think about it, yeah.
Granted, you had to like dig into somebody's stomach to retrieve a key to.
But this was pretty amazing.
Spoiler.
Like they have a lot of the typical things that you see in escape rooms, and the way the people act in an escape room, mixed with like a lot of horror and violence, right? And it's actually a pretty good movie. I was just checking out if you want a good popcorn flick. That is Escape Room. You can catch that at Tango Theaters, both in the shopping center and the Micronesia Mall.
Fearless leader, may I ask one quick question?
Mm.
At Tango Theaters right now, can you still catch Spider-Man?
Last I checked, you can catch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I've heard is like the best animated movie of all time.
Which is my point, and I guess which is the Golden Globes point, because it had only been in the theaters, I think, less than 2 weeks.
You know
and
what?
it won the award for best. How the hell can you beat?
And it's not the only
Incredibles
thing,
2.
It's not the only film that was in the theaters for a very short time that also won a award. But let's just get straight to the Golden Globes. How do you guys want to do this? Should we just go right off the top? Best motion picture for a drama?
I gotta stand up for this one.
Might as well.
Sure, let's do it. These are the nominees for best motion picture for a drama: Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, If Beale Street Could Talk, A Star Is Born, and Black Panther. Black Panther.
No.
Was there?
That's like the
Okay, there are
only
elements of
yeah.
drama in Black Panther,
Yeah.
obviously.
All right, so
But it's a superhero movie, so by definition, it's going to be action adventure.
I agree.
But that's not a category.
I agree.
How did it make it
I'm
so
pretty
strong?
I'm pretty surprised that Black Panther made it to the actual list. And I'm pretty surprised, to be honest.
I would
Like,
say, with all respect due to Michael B. Jordan, is this your king?
I think it's
Question mark? Is this your king?
I think it's
pretty good.
popular
I like that.
demand that it would be recognized in the bigger awards than just like People's Choice or like Teen Choice.
I'm surprised.
Did
because there are
Disney
a
try
lot
and
of popular
shoehorn
movies
it
that don't
in
get presented.
somewhere because it wasn't in enough categories?
Wait,
I mean,
who votes on the Golden Globes?
The HFPA, the Hollywood Foreign Press.
And guys,
98
if you
members,
don't
I
know
think.
that voice, that's
Oh.
Mariah.
Hi.
So, by the way, we've got Jason here, Mariah, Asha, myself, and Uncle Kim. And Mariah's our special guest, knows everything about the Golden Globes and award shows in general. So you'll be hearing a lot
She's a
from
movie
Mariah
girl.
in the coming weeks. But yeah, I'm surprised to see it. Bohemian Rhapsody won. Best
is
Motion
drama
Picture.
defined differently by foreign markets?
I think it's 98 voting members are the ones who nominate these films and people.
And I mean, they
did
must
they all
have
go
a
to the
really-
bathroom in the fight scene, or what?
They must have a really late date of entry to vote on those things too. Because like you said, Into the Spider-Verse, which we're going to talk about, is on one of the candidates for one of the awards.
And it won.
Also,
Mary Poppins.
Vice, Mary Poppins, Vice. That's that just came out on Christmas, so that's like a week ago.
Yeah, but I think the people that vote I think they have a way to watch it earlier.
Oh, yeah,
They get-
sure.
they
They
get
the
advanced
They get
screeners,
the
yeah.
advanced screeners.
So they get it like a
Lucky.
month and a half before the rest of
So-
us schlubs get to watch it.
Anyway, so Bohemian Rhapsody won over what I would think was going
A
to be
Star
a,
is Born.
a shoe-in for A Star is
And
Born.
we do have someone who's probably the expert on A Star is Born because she loved it
and
so much.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
And okay, so Asha, you watched both of these films. On the last podcast we did, you said you loved both of them, but if you had to choose between one of the two, you would have gone with A Star is Born, right? So
I probably would have gone with A Star is Born.
does this break your heart?
No, it doesn't break my heart because I really like Bohemian Rhapsody. So
I like them.
You know, and I didn't watch Bohemian Rhapsody, but I hear just like crazy good things about it. So, but I
It
did
was
watch A
really
Star is
good.
Born, and I'm surprised that there's a movie that people thought was better than A Star is Born.
you have to
Like,
see,
I
you have to see
think
it.
that hands
Okay.
down, like,
Well, so what are the okay? Let's compare. You know, at least let's do an apples to apples, oranges to oranges comparison, right? Both are musicals.
Yeah.
well,
Or-
there's musical components to it,
yeah.
elements to it.
Yeah,
They're not
both
musicals.
Yeah,
both
they're-
have.
no.
They're actually not musicals.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, strong musical components. Like, I mean, both have strong soundtracks that aren't just like there was a song that was on the Black Panther soundtrack that was nominated for best song. Black Panther is
Sure, yeah, great.
Okay,
Yeah.
but these movies involve music, so music is a character, if you will. Both of them
We're
have
doing
like
this again. Okay,
yeah, both of them have. Rocky is a musical. Damn it, I keep saying that. Okay.
It's music
Okay.
is a driving engine through the film. Yes.
Both A Star is Born and Bohemian Rhapsody also feature a tragic death at the end of a principal character.
Yes, let's not destroy
Spoiler.
the.
Well, if anybody didn't know by this point, you know, Freddie Mercury is dead, so FYI. Both of them have really strong performances by very talented actors.
Okay. Yeah.
So where is the separating demarcation line, delineating factor of how you would separate Bohemian Rhapsody as better than
I
A
feel
Star
like
is Born?
more people just know Bohemian Rhapsody, like
It's
the
Queen,
music in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Queen has touched many people's lives.
I mean, it's a real true story, right?
Yeah.
So I mean.
Okay, there is
It's a
yeah,
biopic.
it is a
Yeah.
biopic.
Yeah.
But and A Star is Born, to be honest, is a retelling of
Like
a
three-
movie that's been done at
Yeah.
least 3 times over.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
At least twice, okay.
Sure.
So would people have tired of
Wow.
the story already? Because there's a lot of people that even say this is the best A Star is Born of all of this A Star is Borns.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I'm still failing
And
to
you
s-
know, like, who were the old lead actress roles in the old stars? Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Judy Garland.
And Katie Garland, right?
Yeah, Judy Garland.
Or Judy Garland.
Katie Garland?
Yeah, that was Katie Garland.
What the hell is Kitty?
Katie,
Garland.
Katy Perry's probably going to do it at some point. You know, she needs to work. You know?
But
She's
and
not
they
going on
won-
tour with
they-
Taylor Swift. That's
and
for
they,
damn
they
sure.
all won Best Actress for those. So you would think that maybe
Yeah.
Lady Gaga would. Anyway.
Okay, but I've seen like a lot of the cutscenes from the musical performances from Bohemian Rhapsody. Each one of those actors that played the roles in Queen absolutely nailed the mannerisms.
Yeah, there's no
the,
denying.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm a guitar player and I love Brian May. That
You're
dude.
a guitar
I thought you were.
I know, we're all like, what?
I thought you played the flute.
I also played the
No, I
recorder.
thought he
Very
played the
proficient on the flute.
trombone.
But
Maybe
he
the trombone.
nailed Brian May. I mean, Brian May plays guitar in a very particular way. You know, he holds it
Yeah.
like up a lot.
And he taught him. He helped him. He
Did
let
he?
him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's videos.
Even looks like
of-
him.
Yeah, a lot of
That
videos
dude
saying
did his
so, yeah.
homework and he
It's
nailed
crazy.
that part.
They really
Even
look
what's his
like
name?
them.
Rami? Is that his name? Rami Malek?
Rami Malek.
Yeah, like even him, like all the all the little nuances.
And
Yeah.
no, because Freddie was very animated.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he actually had a movement coach, not just a like first they did a choreographer, but then he's like, no, we need to really recreate Freddie, so they had a movement coach teach him how to move like Freddie.
It's crazy.
But I think anybody would have said, okay, if either A Star is Born or Bohemian Rhapsody won, no one would have a problem with that. If Black Panther would have won, there would have been hell to pay.
I would.
I
Boy,
don't
it's
even know how
nominated,
it
so I mean that's crazy to me. But anyway, let's move on.
That's Disney.
How about Best Motion Picture for a musical or comedy? We got Crazy Rich Asians, The Favorite, Green Book, Mary Poppins Returns, and Vice.
Why did you have to put musicals and comedy in the same musical or comedy? That's weird.
No, because they usually do it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
there's a
There
lot of musicals that come out.
yeah, there's not a lot of musicals that come out. So
And they,
But I mean, West Side Story is a musical, but definitely that is not funny.
no, you're right. You're right.
But that's not on the list, Jason.
That's true.
Let's just stick to the
Yeah,
list.
West Side Story is like 45 years old.
So
They're
Green
gonna
Book
make it.
won. I did not watch Green Book.
I didn't. Either.
I
Wait,
didn't.
is it-
That's the Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo
Yeah.
Mortensen and Mashashar Ali, who
Wow. Jace.
So what did you read on it, Jason?
Yeah. Well, what is? What did you read?
it's a gripping drama about two men coming to terms with.
What did you read?
With.
What did you read?
With. a situation.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Racial
very good.
divide. I think that's what like you really see.
Viggo Mortensen and his very distinct voice.
So it won. But like anything surprising about the nominees, or like maybe that a movie didn't win that you thought would win, or anything like that?
I thought Crazy Rich Asians was going to take this just based on how,
Popular it was.
yeah, because
Well received it was, yeah.
Twitter went nuts for Crazy Rich Asians.
I did
The
too.
internet went nuts.
Yeah.
KUAM went nuts. I mean, there are people at KUAM who have watched the movie and then read the book.
Oh,
And
I
then read the book
and then
again.
watched the movie.
Okay.
I'm actually reading the sequel right
You know,
now.
actually,
Yeah.
I've heard like so many good things about The Favorite and Vice, but I really haven't heard a lot about Green Book. So I'm actually surprised that it won, simply because I didn't think it was like the front runner for even being picked for Best Motion Picture. So, but aside from that, I don't really know. And I think it's just crazy to think that Mary Poppins Returns and Vice, which both were released Christmas Day, right? They are on the list. So they were out like 2 weeks ago, and they're on the Best Picture list.
Even when we were nominated, that wasn't even released yet. So it's like,
Crazy.
how did you?
And who plays Mary Poppins again? That's John Krasinski's wife, right?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, which is the wife. Right.
She's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Right?
that's the one.
Okay,
Oh my
yeah.
God, I love her.
But how about Vice though? Sam Rockwell, Christian Bale.
Amy Adams.
Christian Bale is the chain.
We'll talk about Christian Bale in just a little bit.
All right, moving on. Best performance by an actress in a motion picture drama. We got Glenn Close for The Wife, Lady Gaga for Stars Born, Nicole Kidman for Destroyer, Melissa McCarthy for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Rosamund Pike for A Private War.
This is a
I watched
murderer's
Private
row
War.
if
That
ever there
movie
was
was
one.
really
That is a really, really good roster of actresses.
I don't think so. Like personally, I only saw like 3 of these films, so I don't know. I've never seen this film with Melissa McCarthy. Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Okay, well, Melissa
Or Destroyer,
McCarthy
I don't even know what
gets labeled as she's like the Chris Farley of female comedians, but,
Okay.
which is probably because of her own doing. But I heard she's very good in this movie. I did not watch
I
it.
don't know.
But Glenn Close, good for her, because I would like to actually, when I finally go to my grave, I would like to see Glenn Close in some other role besides Fatal Attraction. And
Carla DeVille.
I can't see her in anything but Fatal Attraction.
She's the Devil Wears Prada lady, right?
No, that's
That's
Meryl
Meryl
Streep.
Streep.
No, Street.
Yeah, Glenn Close, Meryl Streep. Yeah.
I can't see.
Wild, yeah.
I can't see
Yeah,
Glenn
that's
Close in
good.
anything but dude coming home and she's got like his pet rabbit like boiling on the.
Yeah,
Ugh.
messed up.
God.
Woo!
Fatal Attraction, ladies and gentlemen. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Watch that. Mariah, any?
I actually didn't watch
were you
any of those
surprised?
films.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Asha, how
Sorry.
good was Gaga in? Because she is a very, very talented. Stephanie Germanotta is very
I'm so
talented.
surprised that she's such a great actress.
Right? Because usually when
I
I mean,
thought you were-
actually, I'm not that surprised. She's a great performer too, so.
I heard she really shows her poker face in this movie.
Why?
just
No, because she has to deal with the paparazzi.
But it was really kind of, Star is Born was really kind of a bad romance, so.
That's true.
oh my god.
You guys need to stop.
Woo! We are on a roll right now, but we're gonna move on to bad performance. Best performance
It's not the rest
Worst
by an
performance.
actor in a motion picture drama. We
I
got
think this one was a slam dunk.
Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, Willem Dafoe for At Eternity's Gate,
Oh, yeah.
Lucas Hedges for Boy Erased, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, and John David Washington for Black Klansman. So
Yeah.
Rami won the role,
I was so
or
happy for
won
this
the
one.
award for his role as.
I
Freddie
mean,
Mercury,
I don't
so.
think there's a surprise there. He did an excellent job, so.
And you are a Bradley Cooper.
I am. I'm
You-
a big Bradley Cooper
You created
fan,
the I Heart Bradley Cooper subreddit.
I'm really surprised that.
Jesus, Jason.
I'm really surprised that Bradley. Well, actually, no. You know what? Again, it looks like
You
Rami
didn't
Malek.
see
Yeah, I can't.
Bohemian
Yeah, and
Rhapsody yet, right?
Yeah, and I can't. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it looks from what I've seen so far, his performance looks really
Rami Malek?
good. Yeah.
He's really good.
He is.
I mean, I've loved him since he was the Pharaoh in Night at the Museum.
Oh my God, that really
Mm.
small role.
Yeah. Not big enough for him.
But
Just putting it out there.
I have this inclination for where actors perform like way out of the norm, like from what they normally do.
Mhm.
And like Bradley Cooper, he used like his new voice. He had the what's that guy that's in all those Western movies?
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott.
No,
he
not
tried
Sam. Not what? Uncle Kim.
not
was
Sam
that-
Elliott.
Sam Elliott's
Worthington? Not Sam Worthington.
No.
the one from Mask. And the guy from Roadhouse.
Yeah, it's Sam, right? It's,
Yeah, Sam.
Anyway,
No, Sam Elliott.
It is
Yeah, because
Sam Elliott.
Sam Neill is the Australian who was.
Yeah, Australian for Jurassic Park. Right?
I liked how
I thought you were taller, Dalton.
I really like how Bradley Cooper tried to emulate that kind of sound and voice throughout the movie. It reminds me a lot of like Benicio del Toro and Usual Suspects, who won Academy Award for that performance,
Doing the Batman voice.
or that weird Benicio del Toro voice. But yeah, you know, who watched At Eternity's Gate? Anyone watch that?
I wanna watch
I don't even know what that movie's about.
It's about Vincent Van Gogh.
Oh.
Yeah, and so it's not one of those that you put on like, oh, I just want to, a nice date. No, it's emotional.
Oh, okay. So, moving on, best performance by an actress in a motion picture, musical, or comedy. Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins Returns, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Elsie Fisher for 8th Grade, Charlize Theron in Tully, and Constance Wu for Crazy Rich Asians.
Anytime you actually beat Charlize in anything is a major win.
Sure.
So props to Olivia Colman.
I gotta watch The Favorite. I'm gonna go watch that movie. I heard like
I
Emma
don't watch
Stone's in that
any of
movie, right?
Oh,
And
yes, I watched
it's
it.
not The Favorite, the American spelling, it's the favorite. So you got that European thing to it.
And it is about Queen Anne and like stuff happening behind bedroom doors.
Nice.
Best director, it went to Alfonso Cuarón for Roma, right, which is the drama.
Yeah, this is a loaded category too. This is very, very competitive because you've got, again, Bradley Cooper, who directed A Star is Born. Peter Farrelly, is that of the Farrelly brothers?
I don't know.
Green Book is like very strong. Spike Lee for Black Klansman, always a tough one. And then Adam McKay, who is really establishing a name for himself because he actually directed one of our favorite films, The Big Short, and he's done.
Who did The Big Short? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, there's something
We're
else.
good.
Something else really big. I gotta look this up.
But what did Alfonso Cuarón direct? Did he direct that movie Gravity? Did he do that movie?
Is that the one with Sandra
Yeah.
Bullock?
Did he direct that?
I don't know. I didn't watch that one.
Anyway. Best actor.
Oh, duh. Adam McKay also did Anchorman. Yeah, that's what it's.
Best actor in a musical or comedy: Christian Bale for Vice, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Mary Poppins Returns, Viggo Mortensen for The Green Book, Robert Redford for The Old Man and the Gun,
I thought Robert Redford was retired.
I think that's his last film.
and one of our favorites, John C. Reilly for Stan and Ollie.
Uncle Ken just said he thought Robert Redford was dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
well.
Paul Newman at that, right?
Yeah.
So,
So Christian Bale won for Vice, which I haven't seen because the movie just came out, so I guess I'll have to watch that soon.
Right. Check it out.
Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture: Amy Adams for Vice, Claire Foy for First Man, Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk, Emma Stone for The Favorite, and Rachel Weisz for The Favorite.
Okay, I just want to say
People
Rachel Weisz, and that is the proper pronunciation of her name. Thank you very much.
Okay. well,
Also,
thanks,
of course, married to 007 himself.
Jason. Oh yeah.
yep.
Yep. Really, really talented, but she and Emma Stone were up for this. Regina King finally, and Regina King actually made, Mariah, I'm sure you saw this, but she made a very impassioned
Yeah.
speech when she accepted, and she said from now on, any project she takes, or maybe conversely, she will refuse to take any project unless 50% of the people involved with the film are women.
Yeah. And they would try playing her out a little bit twice, but she's like, no, I'm gonna keep talking.
Regina King has not aged in 25 years. She's the same person she was. And she always takes like these, these little bit parts. She was in Enemy of the State. She was in she's always been in like these movies. Whatever fountain of youth she's drinking from, get me some of that.
She's good, yeah.
Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture. How do you say this guy's name?
Mahershala.
Mahershala.
Yeah.
Mahershala Ali for The Green
Who
Book.
we, of course, probably all came to know in the first couple of seasons of House of Cards. He was the lobbyist.
Ah,
Yeah.
What's her name's boyfriend? The side scam.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers.
And then now, of course, you're
you're
very excited to watch him because the next season of True Detective is coming out, and he is the main guy in that.
Yeah, well, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
True Detective season 3. Timothy Chalamet for Beautiful Boy, Adam Driver for Black Klansman, Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me, and Sam Rockwell for Vice.
Mariah, how upset are you that Adam Driver did not win?
Oh no, Timothy Chalamet is my boy.
Oh, okay.
He's my beautiful boy.
I thought you were going to stand up for your Star Wars guy.
He's
Yeah.
my beautiful boy.
He's my beautiful boy.
So I mean, I feel like listening to or seeing all.
You didn't like the
these
Kylo
results,
Ren did not
I
win?
need to watch Green Book.
Like I gotta watch
I
Green
care
Book
more
and I
about
gotta watch
Vice,
Vice,
right?
right? Like and the favorite.
I
I'm
I
gonna watch
didn't
all of
watch
them.
Black Klansman.
I wanted to. It
I wanna
looks
watch
funny
that.
and interesting.
All right, okay. Here's one more good one.
This
Best
is Asha's
original
category.
song in a motion picture. All the Stars from Black Panther.
What the heck?
Girl in the Movies from the movie Dumpling. Requiem for a
Dumpling,
Private War
a
from The
Netflix
Private
movie, by
War.
the way, not a theatrical release, a Netflix film.
Revelation from Boy Erased and Shallow from A Star Is Born.
No surprise that my song won.
Wait, is that the very very sad one, the one that you always play on Spotify? The super sad one.
They're all
That I
all the
always-
songs
they're-
are
yeah, they're
sad.
all pretty touching. But yeah, that's the one. That's the most popular song.
Shallow's it's a pretty good song.
It's a really good song.
Is this a duet with Bradley
Yeah.
and Gaga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shallow's a pretty good song, but it's way better when you watch the movie.
Yeah.
Like when you watch the movie and find out like how the song.
Okay, so like after I watched it, I would just play it on Spotify, and Ken sits right next to me. He was just looking at me like, God, stop this ridiculous song already. Watches the movie, comes back to work, and loves it.
Oh, really? I never knew. You told her to stop playing Lady Gaga songs because
He just,
before
like,
you
made
sat
me
next to
that
Asha,
song.
I sat next to you for 6 years and I had to listen to
Jason,
Paparazzi.
we're talking
No,
about
about
this
that
one
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song.
No, not Paparazzi.
And we also had to listen to
Yeah.
other dudes doing paparazzi songs for 6 years.
Okay.
But I think that's-
Anyway, we digress. But yeah, so
Great song.
Shallow,
Wait.
Star Is Born won.
Was the song from Dumpling good? Because Dumpling is the Jennifer Aniston movie.
Yeah.
That
but it's
movie
just-
was
I
good.
love that
That movie was
movie.
good.
I don't know, it's so wholesome. Pretty
Okay,
funny.
best animated film.
Okay, here we go.
Incredibles 2, Isle of Dogs, which is a great movie. Mirai, or what? Mira? What does it say?
You know?
Yeah.
Mira? I don't know. I don't even know what it
Never
says.
watched
Well,
it.
didn't win.
Ralph Breaks the Internet and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
First of all, Mariah, who produced Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Because it was not Pixar, right?
No.
Pixar does not
Sony.
win for once.
Sony.
Sony,
Yeah.
okay.
Ooh.
Shot across the bow.
I really want to watch it.
It's
great.
good. I want to watch it again.
What makes it so good? Is it really
The
good CGI?
animation, no, the animation's really good. Like it kind of, it has that comic book feel. Like there's some parts where like you see like someone gets hit, it's like big, and then like even like some of the background colors are very comic booky, I guess. And it's just really well done. Like the way they.
And it's a good theme to draw into, right? With like
Yeah.
the Spider Pig and all
Yeah,
the
it's
different
showing
types
that
of
anyone can be
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Like you don't have to be Peter Parker.
Cool. It's awesome.
Are you all in with Miles Morales on Spider-Man?
Yeah, I really liked it. I love this character. He's so cute, and it's different from what we know.
Cute.
He's so he's so different from what we know as Spider-Man. You know,
Yeah,
like
because Peter Parker's like older in this movie, right? Like
Yeah.
he's-
Okay, did
Yeah.
Ralph Breaks the Internet not really live up to
I heard
the
that
lofty
movie's really
expectations?
good, too.
But did it not live up to the lofty expectations of Wreck-It Ralph?
I
Could-
don't know.
Because there's some people I know that
I've
said,
heard
yeah,
a
maybe
lot of
sophomore
people said
slump.
that this was better.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But Incredibles 2, it was like what?
That was
12?
really good.
It's 12 years since the original film came out.
14.
That's how long? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, TV best series.
We're getting into
best
TV now.
drama TV series: The Americans, Bodyguard, Homecoming, Killing Eve, and Pose.
I'm surprised Homecoming did not win because there isn't a person alive who does not at least have a little bit of high praise for Homecoming.
Homecoming's trash.
Okay, we found one.
Homecoming
I would.
sucks.
Okay, wait. I would love to hear this.
Oh my gosh, that is a snore fest. That show is boring. Julia Roberts, right? That's the Julia Roberts
Yeah, I think so.
show. Show's garbage. It is garbage. Like you gotta go like 9 episodes in before anything really happens. It's kind of stale. It's not kind of stale. It is stale. I did
Wow.
not like that. But you know what I did like is Bodyguard. I think it has Kit Harington or whatever the guy's name
Richard
is.
Madden.
Or well, yeah,
Yeah.
Rob. It has Rob Stark.
Yeah,
So.
he won for.
And I thought it was pretty good, but you know, the Americans, the first season, this is like what, the 3rd season of the
I think it's on
Americans?
its last.
No, the Americans has been around for a
Yeah,
while.
I think
really?
it's
The,
its
I think
last
the,
season.
I think the Americans actually debuted when Sons of Anarchy was in its last
Wow.
season, and that was at least 4 years ago.
Okay.
And this is still with
Carrie Russell.
yeah,
and
Carrie Russell.
Matt
Carrie Russell of the Mickey Mouse Club, old
Man,
school.
who liked Homecoming? Seriously, like people like the show. Like I'm really surprised. I had high hopes for it. It was just Julia Roberts in it, but man, it is just like
But which is the one with Claire Danes and Damien?
that is Homecoming as well. Is that called Homecoming?
No. Dang it.
You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
we know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Starts with an H, right?
Homeland.
Homeland.
There you go.
Homeland.
Is that what it is?
I was like,
Yeah.
something home.
Yeah, well, this is not that.
Yeah.
So.
That
Homeland
one
is pretty
Homeland.
awesome.
Homeland.
Yeah.
Where is Homeland on this?
Isn't it done?
Well, it's done.
Oh, okay.
So it's nowhere, best performance by an actress in a TV series: Catriona Balfe for Outlander, Elizabeth Moss for The Handmaid's Tale,
Mm.
Sandra Oh for Killing Eve, Julia Roberts for Homecoming, and Carrie Russell for The American.
Okay, and Sandra Oh won, and she also co-hosted the event.
Yes.
Sandra Oh
She's
goes.
a great actress.
She
I love
is.
her.
Do you
She's
guys
so
do you guys
cool.
know how far back she goes? She was on the original HBO show, Dream On.
Mm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Arliss. She was on Arliss, which was like in the early '90s with Arliss Michaels, a super sports agent.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was on
remember
that.
her
We were
as,
babies.
And then she was on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Asha was just. in
I
the
love
theater.
her in Grey's Anatomy.
Yep, she's fantastic.
Killing Eve is really
She
good.
is the-
Dr. Christina
it?
Yang.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I watched the first episode. I stopped to watch the others, but it's really good.
When did you
like-
start watching it? Just recently?
Like a few weeks ago. Cause I've been meaning to watch it.
Why, you
but
watch it?
then-
You watch Killing Eve?
No, I haven't watched any
It's
TV
really good.
shows in like a year, so I don't know any of
So
these
I was
shows.
really happy with her winning this category, and she looked really excited. Her parents were there.
Alright, we're gonna skip through a couple of these just so we can get through. I know there's a lot of content here. Best performance by an actor in a TV series.
This one's tough.
Sacha Baron Cohen for Who's America, Jim Carrey for Kidding, Michael Douglas for The Kominsky Method, Donald Glover for Atlanta.
Who
and
should have won?
Bill Hader for Barry.
Okay, you know what's interesting about this too? Just the fact that Jim Carrey and Michael Douglas are now doing TV. That's interesting to see how they've shifted. Jim Carrey was the biggest star in movies, what, 13 years ago?
20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, look at his run when he did. You know, he did Ace Ventura, he did The Mask, he did. I mean, he did Batman Forever.
Yeah, Batman for like great
Not the
pieces of
best.
cinema like that.
He was the only thing. He was the only thing that was good about Batman Forever.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That was around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was huge in that. And, you know, not to say that like his career has regressed.
You know,
but
I'm a big fan of Atlanta, but I'm not surprised Donald Glover didn't win. I really thought Bill Hader would win though for
Yeah, I heard
Barry.
really good things about Barry.
he's good in Barry.
Yeah.
He's really, really good.
But well, went to Michael Douglas, right?
Yep.
So moving on. Best performance by an actress in a TV series. We got like a lot of NBC shows on this one. Kristen Bell for The Good Place, Candice Bergen for Murphy Brown, Alison Brie for Glow,
Who should have won?
Rachel Brosnahan for The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and Deborah Messing for Will and Grace.
Okay, one thing I'd like to point out. The fact that Murphy Brown and Will and Grace are two shows that they've
Yeah.
brought back and they've been
That are up there.
nominated is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty crazy.
Candice Bergen.
These must be good shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want when you bring back a good show.
Yeah.
That it
Uncle
continues
Ken,
that
remember
way.
Candice Bergen's father? Edgar Bergen,
Oh, yeah.
the puppeteer?
Yeah.
Beanie and Cecil?
Yeah.
That's old school, man.
But how about Kristen Bell? I really like.
I love her.
She is super talented.
Hey, The Good Place is pretty good.
The Good Place is
It's
really
actually
good.
a really good show. So
And I like that it
That show
changes.
is so funny.
it's wild.
And I like
She's
that it
no,
kinda
she's really,
changes.
really funny.
It's really clever. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
a really
really
clever
clever.
show. Like if you gotta get through it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but did you guys not think that Alison Brie should have won
Alison Brie
for
was
Glow?
really good. It's really good
Did
in
you-
Glow too. Yeah.
Is she in this movie where she's a nun?
Yeah.
With what's her name? What's that other girl's name?
Aubrey Plaza.
Is it too?
And her
that
husband,
movie
Dave
is
Franco.
Crazy.
The only thing I
wait,
can-
whose husband?
Dave Franco is her husband.
Aubrey.
No,
In real life?
Alison Brie's
Yeah,
husband.
Alison Brie. That's
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The only
They're-
reason I can see why Alison Brie did not win is if they based it on Glow season 2 is because she was the featured character and the star of season 1. Season 2 they kind of dialed her back like a little bit to let the other characters kind of develop. That's the only justification I can have why she did not win this because she was even great in season 2. She just had like a slightly diminished role.
Let's see. All right. Let's do this last one. Best limited series or motion picture made for television. The Alien.
Okay, wait, and you know this better than all of us, Ken. What exactly is a limited series
It's
as opposed to like a serial?
It has an end. It's
Or
just
a
like
procedure.
one or two seasons.
So-
it has an end. Like the whole thing is created and
Just
So basically, like True Detective.
yeah.
Each
Well,
each
no,
of
no,
the seasons
well,
aren't connected.
True Detective's different because obviously they make more seasons, right?
But The Young Pope was a limited series.
They're not doing any more series.
No, they said that's
yeah,
it.
but was it cut off or was it like actually made?
Like they had an end.
They had an end.
Because Jude Law died, I believe, at the end of it.
Oh,
Which is
okay, maybe that
kind
was,
of-
well, like
they-
Sharp Objects is a limited series, then
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
show with
it's
the,
in one novel, right?
yeah.
Okay,
And-
so
and
this
the-
isn't like something that will continue on until the ratings get so god awful that they just put it out of its misery. It's
No,
intentionally
it's
short.
intentionally short.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have The
Okay.
Alienist, which is a limited series, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, Dirty John, Escape at Dannemora, Sharp Objects, and A Very English Scandal. I watched a lot of these, and I really like The Alienist. It has
Daniel
Luke,
Brühl?
yeah, that guy Daniel Brühl, and Luke Evans.
Yeah.
That's his name, and the girl from
Dakota Fanning.
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you,
so
Mariah. It's good to have Mariah here because we'll be sitting here.
No need for Google when Mariah's here.
But Matt, that is a great series. It's about
It looked good.
the first semblance of psychiatric help and forensic science. Like, it's got a guy, Daniel Brühl, who's he's an alienist, and that's like the psychiatrist,
Oh,
psychologist
okay.
kind
I
of
was like,
person.
this is about it.
And then he and Luke Evans and Dakota Fanning try to solve these killings by a serial killer. And it has an end. It's a really good series.
Okay,
I really like it.
I have a question for each of you guys because we all we work in the media business. We all consume a hell of a lot of.
It didn't win though.
No, it did not.
The one that did win was the Assassination of Gianni Versace,
That one's good.
which I have not seen.
Everybody
That's
says that's
really
very, very good.
Yeah, but it's very heavy. I couldn't watch.
How many
more than two
episodes is that?
8 or 9.
Oh, it's okay. So it's not too
Yeah,
long.
because it's part of the the American Crime Story anthology. So every season is a different.
So American Crime Story, like that's the one where
they did
they
the O.J.
always.
Simpson trial.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of another. I don't know. How many seasons of American Crime Story are there?
This was the second one.
Okay, so the first one was the O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
Man, what is that other American crime?
Yeah, there's another one. That's
Isn't
like
it called
similar
American
title.
Crime Story? No. Anyway.
Okay,
That
perfect
goes.
segue because I was just about to say, are there any shows that you guys did not feel got enough or any love? Because I was like, where's American Horror Story on this?
I don't know. I guess maybe the last season kind of fell off. I don't know if people really enjoyed
You know
it.
what? I'm also surprised. Okay, there's two series which I am shocked.
This Is Us.
Not so. I think This Is Us maybe like kind of they plateaued already for me.
Don't let me do that.
Yeah.
There are two shows. I believe they're on TNT. Ken, you have to help me out with this. One of them has Niecy Nash. She's the
Claws.
Nails or claws?
Nails, yeah, or claws, yeah.
Claws.
and
Claws.
and the other one is with that family of drug dealers or
Animal Kingdom.
yes.
I didn't even watch these shows. But
Animal
I
Kingdom
watched them
is
all. I watched them
awesome,
for
man.
years.
Thank you.
Animal Kingdom
watch
is
any
a
of these
really
shows.
cool show, but I don't know if I would consider it like.
Was it not award nomination?
Well,
award?
and Animal Kingdom is a real series. These are all limited
So it'd
series,
be in
right?
a
So
different-
it would be in a different category. So, right? Not limited.
How okay? So Mariah, as the most learned of all of us who watch TV and have no life, was there anything that you felt was egregiously missing?
Well, This Is Us is one of them.
You know what's weird? Everybody loves This Is Us. Everybody has emotional reaction to This Is Us.
Yeah.
No one can actually say what This Is Us is about.
Because we don't want to spoil it. Because the pilot, it would just spoil the whole pilot.
No, I even asked people like, what's it about? Is this like somebody dying of a terminal disease? They're like, I can't really explain it.
Well, that's why,
It's about
'cause
a
they can't
family.
really explain it. But
about a
This Is
family,
Us is
yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
And I
Good.
think
It's got a lot of like different themes going on.
Yeah.
So like a lot of internal and external conflicts
Mhm.
with a lot of the characters.
So
I think
it's
that's
really
pretty
weird
good.
that
And I really
it's
like how
really-
they. Is this the third or the fourth season?
they're
Like I really like how they kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
To keep without spoiling anything. To keep.
And I think another show that was only in the Golden Globes once or maybe twice was Crazy Ex-Girlfriend on the CW.
Mm.
It's a really great musical comedy. One of my favorite shows ever.
Is it that's still?
It's on its
around?
last season.
Uh,
Yeah. And it's really good. Really well written. Really talks about mental illness and kind of turns romantic comedies on its head. So I think it's one of the greatest shows I've ever seen.
So moving this is like close to the beginning of the award season, right?
Yeah.
Are there any surprises that you see here, or anything that is a shoo-in to be on the Oscars or on SAG Awards or future award shows? And any things here that you think maybe got lucky to be nominated, or like for Best Picture? This is not what I'm looking at for Best Picture at the Oscars. Like I would be surprised to see Black Panther.
I would not be surprised to see it nominated.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
Special effects is probably, well, Infinity
Like,
War, which
well,
was
not-
nowhere
not
on this
for
list.
Best Picture, not
Yeah.
for Best Picture.
No, but, well, okay, and this is what's very difficult to talk about because there's so much social subtext which is present in Black Panther. Like
Yeah.
you said yourself, Dan, when like almost a year ago today, when we did the Black Panther podcast, you said you would have to be completely ignorant to ignore like all of the dialogue that
Sure.
they're and you're like the pivotal scene in the movie, the second to the last scene, the battle scene between Killmonger and Black Panther literally takes place in an underground railway.
Yeah.
So there's that element to it. So I would not be surprised if it got nominated. I would be shocked if it won. And that's why I think, and a lot of people say they like Infinity War better than Black Panther. It's just Black Panther had a little bit more of,
Social commentary.
yeah, and maybe by that merit substance, than just it being like a really good CGI-driven action fight epic battle movie.
I mean, not from. Well, I don't know.
Infinity War was nowhere on. Okay, how many superhero movies came out like last year? Deadpool's not here.
There's a bunch. Aquaman.
I don't think they qualify for like these kind of awards. Like maybe for like the ones where you can actually like people like us can vote for it. I think those because it's it wins at the box office like every time one of them comes out. But these don't look at box office. They look at something else.
Yeah,
I don't know what
they
it
looked
is.
at when they
Yeah.
got Black Panther on that list. I'm surprised. What's the movie with A Simple Plan? Is that what it's called? The movie with Blake Lively.
Oh, A Simple Favor?
A Simple Favor. I really like that
Yeah,
movie.
I
I'm
just
actually
watched
surprised that that wasn't.
I was gonna say
nominated,
Simple
right?
Plan. Cause I
Man.
lost it all.
There's a Simple
I'm
Plan.
sorry, I can't be perfect.
Okay.
You knew that was coming.
So going into these future awards series, like if you had to bet some money on someone or some movie winning an award at the Oscars, what would it be?
Asha, this is your wheelhouse.
This is your chance.
You now have.
Asha.
We're gonna hold your feet to the fire again. Are you gonna go with Bohemian Rhapsody, or are you? If you had to bet your next paycheck on Bohemian Rhapsody or A Star Is Born for best movie, and this is the Academy
Just
Awards.
between those
Wait, are we
two
saying
This
that
is-
is it even questionable?
What else
That-
What else is coming out that could even give it a run for their money? What's coming out this spring, Mariah?
I think because they already announced the nominations, right? There
No.
should be others.
There's that
Isn't it?
feel good dog movie that I think Disney just or what?
Oh, A Dog's Way
A
Home.
Dog's Way Home, which is probably best kids movie.
I don't know.
But you're asking me if I were to pick between those two?
Yeah, for best picture.
Or I don't know. That's like if you think that either of them would win Best Picture or is likely to win Best Picture.
I think Bohemian Rhapsody would win.
Okay.
I think Star is Born for sure. Like these Oscar critics can. You
Get
can't.
their
There's no
crap
way they
together.
can mess this up.
Okay, well, you know what? At the current moment, the government is in a federal shutdown, which means that the FCC has no jurisdiction over us, so we can technically say anything we want and not get in trouble for it.
Jason's so happy about this.
So foreign press, you can suck it.
Oh my goodness.
On that note, guys, we are gonna close the podcast. Remember, you can catch Real Talk every Tuesday on the KUAM Podcast Network. Thank you to our sponsors, Tango Theaters, where you can catch many great movies like Into the Spider-Verse.
Which just won
Vice,
being out for a week.
with Christian Bale, and as well as a movie that probably will not be on the award list, Escape Room. So we'll see you guys next week.